In Creo Parametric, you can perform model-based definition, or MBD, and that is all about putting your PMI, or your product and manufacturing information, in your 3D models, in your parts and your assemblies. The process of doing MBD got a big overhaul in Creo Parametric 4.0 in order to comply more closely to the ASME standards. Let's take a look at something that was added in Creo Parametric 4.0 called the Datum Reference Frame. Here I have a part, and I basically duplicated a model that appears in ASME Y14.41, the 2019 version, and the previous version. You can see that there are a lot of 3D annotations on here. I have a bunch of dimensions, they're basic dimensions. I've got geometric tolerances. I've got my different datum feature symbols, all this stuff on here. It's a bit cluttered, so I'm going to change to one of my combination states that reduces the clutter. Also, let's go to the Annotate tab here. Now you can see the detail tree. You can see my different annotations that start off with GP followed by a number. Those are my geometric tolerances. So as I click on them, you can see them highlight on the computer screen here. But the important thing for this one is that any of your geometric tolerances that have datum references are automatically going to have something called a datum reference frame created in there. And initially they are going to be incomplete. Let me turn on my magnifier. You can see that next to DRF1, between the little symbol for the datum reference frame and the name of it, is a little glyph. That's a symbol. It looks like a partially filled in box. That indicates that it is incomplete. So again, these will automatically get created and they will be incomplete initially. Let me turn off my magnifier. So let's take a look at the first one in here. We have GP0, which is, let me deselect it over here. It's my flatness geometric tolerance. It's used to qualify my datum A. Flatness doesn't have any references with it. If I go click on it, you can see that we don't have a primary or secondary or tertiary datum reference because the flatness geometric characteristic does not require it. Since it doesn't have any references, that means that it doesn't have any corresponding datum reference frame. But if I go to the next one over here, here we have a perpendicularity geometric characteristic in order to qualify the surface that's used to define the B datum. Well, this perpendicularity does have a primary reference. It's got this reference A, therefore it has an incomplete datum reference frame. Let's take a look at some of these other ones. Let's expand the next couple ones. You'll notice that GP2, which is this other perpendicularity, it calls out datums A and B, and it's used to qualify the datum feature symbol for C. Well, the one below it as well, GP3, this one over here, which is a surface profile, it also calls out the incomplete DRF2. If you take a look at these two geometric tolerances, they both use A and B as their references. Since they use the same references, they have the same datum reference frame. All right, let's expand GP4. Here we can see that. Which one are you? Let me select it. Okay, it's this one over here. It calls out A and C, so it's got its own unique DRF. Let's expand GP8 and GP9. If I click on GP8, it's this one over here. If I click on GP9, it's this one over here. Both of these are positional tolerances, and they call out A, B, and C. Since they call out the same references in the same order, they use the same datum reference frame. All right, so let's go about taking a look at how we actually create these datum reference frames, or actually make them complete, since Creo Parametric automatically creates them for us. Let's select the first one over here. Then I can right mouse click, and here we have the command from the right mouse button menu to define a new coordinate system. When I click on that, Here we see that it is for datum reference A, and right now it wants us to define the origin. One other thing to be aware of, in the standard, the ASME Y14.41, they talk about absolute coordinates. We really don't talk about that much in Creo Parametric. You do have a default coordinate system, and I designed the geometry, well, to match the images that were in the standard. But also what they tend to do, I see a lot in ASME Y1441, is that they have the absolute coordinates such that the A datum is located in the XY plane. I don't think that's necessarily required, it's just something that they happen to do. But let's remove what I selected in here. Let's define the origin of it. And for this one, I don't see any reason why we can't use the same orientation and coordinate systems as what's being used for the default coordinate system, or as what they call in the reference, the absolute coordinates. So I can select, using the control key, these three surfaces over here. I really could have just picked the coordinate system, but I want to show you how to do it. The main way that you'll do it, you'll select usually 2 or 3 references in order to define the origin of your coordinate system. Now let's click on the orientation tab. It's automatically selecting some references for us. If I select what's in this collector over here, they have this surface that is being used to define the X direction. Well, I see no reason why to use it differently for defining the A datum reference frame as we have for the default coordinate system. So I'm going to use that surface to define the Z direction. And now it's pointing up, even though in the default coordinate system it was pointing down. So I can use the flip button over here to change the orientation. Now for this surface, it's using this surface to define the Y direction, but to match up with the default coordinate system, I can change this to define X, and looks like it's pointing in opposite directions. Let me hit the flip button over here, and now it appears like the coordinate system that I'm creating matches the orientation of the default coordinate system. Again, I don't really see any reason for them to be different. Now let's go to the Properties tab. It's automatically going to give it a name. One of the things that's required by the ASME Y1441 standard is that it has a unique name. There are also requirements about the DRF highlights when you select the geometric tolerance. There's a lot of cross-referencing requirements in there. One other thing that you have in here is to display zoom dependent. So that way the coordinate system will stay the same size regardless of how you zoom in and zoom out. It can make it easier to see. And you have this control for the axis length. You'll notice like the axes here display really big on the computer screen with the default value. Let's cut that down. Let's change that from the suggested value to something smaller. Now let me make it bigger so that you can see it. Let's use value 10 just for this one. Okay, so there you can see the orientation of it. Let's click the OK button. And now when I zoom in and zoom out, this coordinate system is keeping its size based on the size of, or the amount of zoom that I have on the computer screen. All right, so that's good for the first one. Let's take a look at the symbol in the model tree. If I zoom in over there, you'll notice that we no longer have a symbol indicating that it is incomplete. If I take a look at the datum reference frame for geometric tolerance 2, well, that one still has the symbol. So let's take a look at defining that one. Let me turn off my magnifier. Let's select DRF2, and that is the one over here for defining that one over there. Hey, let me define a coordinate system, and this one is going to define the datum reference frame for A and B. Again, I see no reason why this would be different than the default coordinate system. Hey, let me just go through that same process real quick in order to create my coordinate system. All right, great. So basically I got a coordinate system on top of the existing ones, and you'll notice that this one is complete, and that's the same one used for these two over here. Let's see, here we have DRF3. If I define this one over here, well, it's going to end up completing just this one over here. Let's see if we select this geometric tolerance. Let me do these other two over here. And I'm going to leave, let's see, this one incomplete for a moment to show you some of the other ramifications that you have in here. Let's select DRF4. Let me define a coordinate system. Now, you don't necessarily have to locate the coordinate system over there. And for DRF4, maybe I want it to be located centered on this hole over here. I've been looking for some information and some guidance about the importance of the orientation of the coordinate system that you create or where it's located. And it seems like the most important thing is that you do create it. So that it is output either when you are taking the native Creo Parametric file and putting it into coordinate measuring machine software or some other manufacturing or inspection software. The big thing is it's important that you have something that you are using. And again, I really haven't seen any information specifying the importance of the orientation of the coordinate system. The most important thing appears to be that you do have a coordinate system. All right, so I have my coordinate system. Since I selected a surface and a datum axis, that I only need two references in order to define the origin. Now I can go to the orientation and the surface over here. Well, we can change that to define the Z direction if we want. This time I'll leave the Z direction pointing up, and then we can select this surface over here. Oh, it doesn't have a surface selected. Let's use, let's say, this surface over here, and we'll use this to define the X direction, and I can use the flip button to get it to point in the same direction over here, and the Y direction will be opposite. Again, it doesn't appear that the orientation is important. Hey, if I'm wrong about that, someone please write that in the comments because I've been researching and this is the best that I can find. All right, again, we can go to the properties. Hey, maybe I'll make this one zoom dependent. Let's use a middle value over there and then click the OK button. So there we have our datum reference feature. I want to show you some of the effects of different operations. All right, so here I have this particular geometric tolerance over here. It's got an incomplete datum reference frame. Hey, let's delete this. If I click on it and then use the delete command to get rid of the geometric tolerance, the datum reference frame goes away. Now we go from 1 to 2, jumping over to 4. 3 is no longer in the model. Let me hit the undo button in order to get that back. And now you can see that we have DRF3 in here. Let's take a look at the effect now of deleting the the geometric tolerance after I complete the datum reference frame. So I'm going to select it, right mouse, let me right click. Okay, I'm back. I'll admit I just had some weird behavior. After I deleted and then brought the geometric tolerance back, it will not allow me to define the coordinate system from the detail tree. If I go to the model tree though, I can right click on it. I can define the coordinate system from here. Who knows why that is happening? So anyhow, here I have my DRF coordinate system definition dialog box. This is for the frame A and C. And so the references for this one, again, I'll probably just using the same references as before, located over here. And then for the orientation, we're using this surface. And again, I'll use the same direction as I have for A everywhere else. And then in this case, let's see, for the C direction, C is going to be perpendicular to this surface. Let's use that surface over there. And let's use that. Here it's suggesting to have that define Y. Sure, let's use that. Let's go to properties over here and click the OK button. And so now DRF3 is complete. Let's take a look at what happens if I delete the geometric tolerance, but the datum reference frame is complete. I'll select this, then let's go to the X button over here. And now we can see in the model tree that there is a folder underneath annotations. I'll collapse it and then expand it again. Here we have a folder for unused datum reference frames. So again, if you delete a geometric tolerance that has an incomplete datum reference frame, the datum reference frame gets deleted. If you have a complete datum reference frame and delete the geometric tolerance, it's going to end up going to the datum references folder. And now, we have it over here. Let's take a look at recreating that geometric tolerance. Let me see, I have the correct annotation plane. Let's go to the geometric tolerance command. I'm going to query select to this back surface and then locate it about, oops, it looks like I didn't get it. Let me left click on the geometric tolerance command and let me tap so I get the surface. Let's left click the point on the surface and then middle mouse button. And let's change this. Let's delete some of the references that we have in here. Let's get rid of the modifier and change the value and get rid of the phi symbol for the diameter. Let's change this from position to surface profile. And let's add in the other reference over here for C. Then click OK out of the select dialog box. So there I have a C. Let's left click over here. You'll notice that the unused DRFs folder went away. And if I scroll up over here, here's GP8, the last one I created. It automatically is using that datum reference frame since it is set up for AC already. It's just reusing that one over there. And so that is how you can use datum reference frames. I don't know why it's hidden over here. Look, the weird thing is now I have the define buttons back. So that's datum reference frames, new functionality starting in Creo Parametric 4.0, and it's supposed to help when you are exporting this product and manufacturing information to be used in manufacturing and inspection later on. I hope you enjoyed this video. For more information, please visit www.creowindchill.com. If you learned something from this video, please give it a thumbs up. And if you like this video, please click the subscribe button and ring the bell to be informed when new videos are uploaded. Thank you very much.